Hi, this is the second part of the tutorial for creating eyebrows. And on this second part, we want to import the groom that we've made on the final mesh. So what I need to do is to select the mesh and go to my Yeti menu and create Yeti node on mesh. It's like we are creating a new Yeti node. On this node, we need to select it to go to this IO tab, and here we need to open the file. And also you need to set this to cache, and here we are. You can see that we have our fibers here. I'm going to set the display color to black and maybe erase the viewport width. All right. Then you will need to, while this Yeti node is selected, you'll need to go to the menu again, and then you need to import groom from selected Yeti node. Now we have everything back. So the thing is to remove the cache. So we go back to this Yeti node and this IO tab and select it to none. But as soon as I do that, I see that my fibers have disappeared, and I also have got an error message. So that's because on my Yeti graph, it wasn't updated. It's because the mesh has not been updated, and it's easy to just get the new one here. We just have to do it manually. That's it. Now you can see we have everything back, and here we go. So now from there we can just, if we want, mirror this groom to the other side. Or before doing that, probably I want to tweak a little bit the groom. So I'm going to make it a bit thicker than it is. Just want to change the style. So now I'm going to do that now by moving my curves around, creating space, and then I will be adding new curves in between. So I select the move brush, again decrease the strength, increase the softness, and decrease the radius as well. So now I can just move them like that. And now I can add new curves in between. So probably by decreasing this strain distance again to something like 35, let's see. And of course, checking this confirm new strains. So the thing I want to check is this setting for my move is set to world, because if it's set to something else, it will break my curves. So that's something you need to be aware of And also make sure you don't have any soft selection turned on, because it's not going to work. Okay, and maybe I'm going to change also some of my Yeti graph to try different values. So I think it's alright, and what I need to do now is just mirroring this groom to the other side. So I'm going to select my groom and hit this mirror button right there. And also, because my mesh is not symmetrical, as you can see, I will need to slide the curves on the surface. So I'm going to use my move brush, and again with a very low strength and a soft brush like this. And as soon as I touch this, my curves will start to stick to the surface, because some of them were going inside, and now it's just moved so that it stays on the surface. So now I just need to move them around like that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create my final scene, and will create my shaders for my eyebrows. So that's pretty straightforward. I'm going to open my Hypershade. Let's open that. And I'm going to do something pretty simple. I'm going to create this AI standard hair shader. Oh, here we go. I select my Yeti node and connecting this shader to it. And for the values, I'm going to decrease the melanin somewhere here, decrease the redness, and increase this melanin randomness. Well, let's see how it looks. Okay, overall it's not too bad, and probably some strands are a bit too thick, and I'm going to adjust that because again I want all the outer strands hair to be thin, and some of them are too thick in my opinion. So again, I'm going to adjust this, and I'm using this thickness attributes that we have created earlier, and then I'm going to set it to 0.2. You can see that some of my curves are going inside my mesh. So again, I'm going to use this lift brush and lift them up, just like that. Okay, so it turned out pretty good, and the next step will be to create the final scene, and I'm going to add lights, final lights, and textures for my model and the eyes and everything to get this final render. Well, this is the end of this tutorial, so I hope you learned something. And so this is the render that I did, and I wanted also to make another render with different light settings, and this is what I got. So basically the settings are just one dome light with an HDR image and 2 area lights. So yeah, I don't know which one I prefer, maybe this one. Well, so if you like this tutorial, please hit the like button, it would be super nice, and hopefully see you in the next tutorial. Bye guys.